My girl Coco. I love that song right there. I can't get enough of that one. I really like that record. That's On Sight by Coco Jones. Make sure you check out her debut album, Why Not More. Look, LYNX Live, I'm your host, Dame LYNX. Remember, love yourself, no exceptions. And we about to get into some reality. What y'all drinking on? So I'm definitely doing a little tequila reposado and strawberry. You know, I had to keep it simple. I'm just excited to be back recording. So I didn't even want to go into no fancy drinks, but I need to start getting back on my bartender shit. I don't know. I've been kind of playing around lately. Let me know what y'all drinking. Look, reality, we're going to get into all things TV and entertainment. So, how many of y'all watch Pop the Balloon on YouTube? Pop the Balloon is one of my guilty pleasures, but I only watch the one with Arlette and her husband, the one that they do, just because I like Arlette and I feel like she's been doing it long enough, so the show makes sense. A lot of people really don't get the questioning right or the cast right, or it's just a lot of people trying to like have a moment. And I feel like with Arlette, she makes them really, really, if you coming on here playing, you can just go. Well, Netflix has picked up their adaptation of Pop the Balloon, and it airs weekly live. Apparently, they bought it from Arlette and her husband, BJ or JB. I can't think of his name, but they're executive producers on the live version. And a lot of people are saying that Netflix ruined it. They've got Yvonne Orji hosting it, which, you know how much I love me some Molly from Insecure. I only watched the first one. I did kind of feel like they had a lot of work to do. I mean, it is a live show. But overall, I enjoyed it. It reminded me of like those corny dating shows that MTV used to have, like Eliminate and Meet My Parents and all that stuff like that. So I haven't watched it since the first episode. But what do y'all think? Do y'all like Pop the Balloon on Netflix? Did they ruin it? I don't know. As long as my girl Arlette is getting paid, I'm going to just keep watching her version on YouTube. Our girl Sheryl Lee Ralph, she got honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. You know, Sheryl has had a 40-year career, an amazing actress. I think she was in the original Dreamgirls. She was also on Moesha. And most recently, you know, living it up on Abbott Elementary, which has become a really big hit for her. So congrats to Sheryl Lee Ralph for that star. You know, she definitely has earned it. All right, so let's get into some reality TV. Basketball Wives, another one of my guilty pleasures. Look, at this point, when it comes to Basketball Wives is one of my favorite franchises. Basketball Wives, Real Housewives of Atlanta, and Love and Hip Hop. I'm always going to watch them. So Basketball Wives is starting up a new season this week. I'm definitely tuned in. Now, let's talk about this cast. Now, first of all, this cast photo is probably the worst cast photo in the history of cast photos of any show in history. They look a mess. They look a hot mess. So we got Shawnee on here. We've got Jackie, Evelyn, Brandy's back. There's no Brooke, which I kind of figured Brooke wasn't coming back. Jennifer's back. But we've also got Brittany Renner, Ty Young and Ming Lee from Atlanta. They're in LA now. You know Ty Young. Now y'all know I like them studs. Ty, you know what's up. But also Jackie Christie's daughter, Szn12, is on there, I found that to be weird that she would join. But at this point, Jackie's the queen of Basketball Wives. You can say what you want to say. So I'm sure it's just like, come get this check. Let's just act a fool and get this check. Because like, what else are you doing? Did I mention Brittany Renner is back? Anyway, Brittany Renner is back. You know, she was on there 2 seasons ago and she quit. And I really thought that she should not have quit at all. I thought that she was a good fit. I think that she just didn't understand what the show entailed. But I definitely feel like she should have stayed. Well, she's back. You know, she's been in the news since she left. And she is Muslim now. And also she's either married to or engaged to Kevin Gates. She's kicking it with Kevin Gates. And she flashed a wedding ring at the premiere party. So, nonetheless, I'm glad to see Brittany back because I want to just know more about Brittany. I think Brittany is an interesting girl. Jennifer married her scammer fiance, Christian, or something like that. So, Now Evelyn's talking crap about it and Jennifer's over it. So Jennifer and Evelyn are into it. You know, I do think the Christian guy is pretty sketchy, but at this point with Jennifer doesn't have a good picker anyway. If you just look at her history of the people that she's dated. So I'm not surprised when it comes to Jen. However, Jen and Christian make a cute couple and, you know, hopefully she be all right. You know, at this point you're married, so whatever restitution he has to pay, they're gonna take it from you. So I'm interested to see what Ming Lee and Ty are gonna do on here. Apparently, from the trailer, it looked like they're dating. Anyway, Basketball Wives is premiering this week. Will you be tuning in? We're gonna be watching it together. So let's just tune in. You know I'm gonna be watching. I'm always gonna be watching. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Now, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills was a really great season. Another good season. I'm not gonna say it was a really great season, but I enjoyed it. Right now, I'm giving a lot of the Real Housewives franchises grace as they figure out their transition into these new eras for each city. And I think that Beverly Hills did a good job by keeping it majority the same. You still got Kyle, you've got Erica, you've got Dorit, Garcelle, Sutton with her annoying ass, but Sutton is still there. They brought on Bowles this season, who I am obsessed. I'm obsessed with Bowles. She's a very intelligent woman. She has an interesting story. And I think that with her being a Black housewife, she really came on doing what needed to be done. She was very intentional. And a lot of people are questioning her and Dorit being really close, but it really makes sense to me. Dorit would not fit with Garcelle, Kyle, and Sutton. She acts just like Dorit and Erica. She overdresses. She's very gaudy. She's very bold. And so it makes sense to me that she would fit with them. And then Dorit loves to run her mouth. She definitely loves to run her mouth. Dorit loves to run her mouth. And Bowles is like an HR exec, a CEO. So she knows how to play the game and she enjoys to listen. And I think she just liked the tea. So a lot of people were kind of questioning Dorit and Bowles' friendship, but it made sense to me. Kyle still was running up behind Mauricio. You know, Kyle is my favorite housewife ever. So I am seeing her navigate this divorce situation with Mauricio is interesting to watch. I think it's a good story because she's really lost, and you can tell. Garcelle quit the show at the reunion. She didn't take the cast picture. She stormed off the stage at the end. And then she announced her departure. I think that Garcelle had a great 5 years on the show. I think that she did what needed to be done and it's put her in a better position as far as acting, producing, stuff like that. So I think it's time for Garcelle to go. I hate that people are trying to make it seem like it's Bowles versus Garcelle. To me, that was just totally pointless. Anyway, they had a really great season. Their reunion just wrapped a couple of weeks ago, so we won't hear anything else from them until the end of the year. But really great season with Beverly Hills this season. Okay, so Real Housewives of Atlanta. All right. What I will say, with Real Housewives of Atlanta, I'm really enjoying getting to know the new girls. Like, it's like every week the new girls are like battling as far as like who I'm gonna like the most. So, you know, Angela, to me, I've always liked Angela. I feel like she's, you know, very appropriate for the show. I feel like she's not trying too hard. I definitely feel like she's being herself. So I like Angela being on the show. And apparently they've been trying to get Angela Oakley on the show for years. She's married to Charles Oakley. Apparently he dated Sheree at some point briefly, which I wouldn't be surprised by that. But they've been married for a while. So I like Angela a lot. Next up is Kelly. So I'll say this. Initially, I wasn't really feeling Kelly too much. I thought that moment that she was trying to have with Portia was like her trying to like, you know, start something or have a moment. You know how the new girls always want to come in and attack the big dogs. But I personally feel like production told her to ask that. I like how she met with Portia on the second episode and they wrapped that up. And then watching her ever since. I mean, first of all, Kelly, I didn't realize she was so petite. Her and Lil' Kim are the same height. Kelly's adorable. I love her hair. I love her fashion. I love her style. I think that she does a really great job on the show. just us getting to know her as a person. So I really am liking Kelly. Now, Britt, and we're going to get into the Britt and Kenya thing too, because I know that everyone is divided on that situation. Now, here's the thing. I like Britt. I think that Britt is a little immature. And I hope that after watching herself on the show, she will grow up. Mia from Potomac had to do the same thing. She annoyed me her first season too. However, I like Britt. She's pretty. She has style. The situation with her husband, I'm not counting on that to last too long. He gives me the typical Atlanta dude that had a lot of money that wanted a pretty girl. And so she went with that. He's not unattractive. I just don't see them together. I think it is more of a money move for her. And as long as he can continue to afford her, she'll stay there. But you know how these housewives get with this newfound fame. So I like Britt. However, the situation with Kenya showed just how immature she was. To me, Britt was continuously creating some drama in her head with Kenya. We all saw it from the beginning. People can make the comment about Kenya's ring comment, but that was a very harmless comment. However, I don't agree with how Kenya responded to Britt. Now, Britt at that bank scene where she created all that mess with Kenya and then started talking about she had a pistol and stuff like that, it was very immature. However, I personally don't think anyone believed that Britt was going to shoot anybody. However, Kenya being Kenya and Kenya being who she is, I'm not surprised that she became upset. I just think that the way that she responded was too low. Now, she could have kept it with the first poster board. She didn't have to include the one of Britt doing her thing on the pickle. But the first poster board that said, "Who is this hoe?" She could have left it right there. Because who is this hoe? Britt Edie did not want to be the girl that got read or handled by Kenya. So she came onto the show after seeing Kenya's behavior over the years and just assumed that was going to be the one that she had to have a problem with. So Kenya responded accordingly, but Kenya was the one that was removed from the show. And I kind of understand why, but because I just don't think Britt would have shot anybody. But Kenya being Kenya, I'm not mad at her for responding. I just think, girl, that last poster board, you could have left that off. Let me know what y'all think. Whose side y'all on? Do y'all like the newbies on Real Housewives of Atlanta this season? Should Kenya and Britt both have been dismissed? Anyway, we following it. In other Bravo news, Bravo announces Next Gen NYC. Next Gen NYC is a group of younger kids navigating New York City, and it's got some of our favorite housewives kids. So Riley is on there. Gia Giudice is on there. Teresa's daughter from Real Housewives of New Jersey. Brooks is on there, who is Meredith's son from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Also Ariana, Kim Zolciak's daughter. Thank God somebody in that house got a job, because y'all know what the Zolciak's Biermans are going through. So Ariana is on there, which is the younger daughter, and she looks good too. And then also Damon Dash's daughter, Ava, is on here as well. There's a couple other kids in there that I don't know. I think that I'm checking for this show for the same reason that I loved growing up hip hop, because I kind of just like what the celebrity kids are doing. To have these parents that have so much notoriety, I just want to know what their experience is and what they're up to. So I'm checking for Bravo Next Gen NYC. It's supposed to come out in June. So we'll check that out. Love and Hip Hop. Now, y'all know I love me some Love and Hip Hop. And actually last week, I went back to season 1, episode 1, and have been watching from the beginning, because it just reminds me of my days in Atlanta back then, coming up, and how raw Love and Hip Hop was and what it turned into. You know what I mean? So I've been enjoying it. I'm up to the middle of season 2 now. I just watch a couple episodes here and there. Anyway, Karlie Redd was arrested. So this current season of Love and Hip Hop, which is very good, by the way, Karlie is getting married to some guy, some producer guy. One thing about Karlie Redd is she's gonna keep a man. She's gonna keep a man. She's gonna keep a ring. So she gets married to Tila. I can't think of his name. Anyway, we see them fall out this season on the show. Now, apparently back in January, Karlie done broke in this man's house. She broke in this man's house, and she finally turned herself in last month. That's why this ended up becoming big news, because I was wondering like when this happened. The biggest news of all of this whole thing with Karlie Redd is that we finally find out how old she is. You know, we have never known how old Karlie is. We had to see her arrest record to find out that she is 52. So that mystery is solved. But crazy Karlie breaking in people's houses, I ain't got nothing for that. Nothing at all. Lastly, it's rumored that we're finally going to get an ATL Part 2. Now, y'all remember ATL, the original ATL, that iconic movie with Lauren London and T.I.? So apparently we're finally going to get an ATL Part 2. And I was just wondering, who do y'all think that they should cast? I've personally always felt that Lotto should play the new version of Nunu, because Lotto just is Atlanta. Lotto is Atlanta. Anybody that's been down there, you know Lotto is so Atlanta. So what y'all think? Would y'all want to see an ATL 2? What do y'all think the reboot should look like? Who should cast in it? Let me know down in the comments, because I will be excited for an ATL 2. Look, that's going to be it for reality. We're going to get into some more music, and we'll be right back, because you know we got to keep it PC.
Please don't turn me off.